Hi, I'm Jake.
And I'm Esther.
Welcome to
In the Board Game Room. In the Board Game Room today, we're going to be learning Azul and taking a sneak peek at the Crystal Mosaic expansion.
Azul is a pattern building and tiling game for 2 to 4 players. It takes 30 to 45 minutes to play. It's designed by Michael Kiesling and published by Next Move and Plan B Games in 2017. The Crystal Mosaic expansion was later released in 2020.
Okay, so let's set up the base game. We'll take a look at the expansion later.
To set up, we will need 1 player board for each player. We're going to set up for a 2-player game today. We can put the rules aside for now. We will also need the bag of tiles, and we need 5 of these circular factory boards.
There are 9 in the box, and you use 5 for a 2-player, 7 for a 3-player, and all 9 for a 4-player game.
Finally, we will need the first player marker and a scoring token each.
Place your scoring tokens on the 0 point on your board.
Take the factory boards and place them out in a circle in the center of the table, and put the first player marker in the center.
Finally, we need to put 4 of these tiles onto each board. Would you like to pick? No looking. So there are 5 different colour tiles in this game. We've got a teal one with a pretty flower pattern. We've got a black one with a blue pattern on top. We've got a red plain one, a yellow one with a red flowery pattern on it, and a plain blue one. So there we are. We've got all of our factory tiles covered with 4 tiles each.
Okay, we're set up. The aim of Azul is to score as many points as we can. We have our score track up at the top of our board. To score points, we want to complete as much of our wall pattern as we can.
Don't worry, it's very unlikely that you're going to reach this 100 point to begin with, so don't even worry if you're down at 30 or 40.
Yeah, it is quite common to have low scoring games. To fill in our wall pattern, we will need to complete these rows. They're called the pattern lines. And in order to do that, we need to take some tiles.
So we're going to go through a couple of rounds of what the game would look like. Jake, how about you go first this time?
Okay, so for me to take tiles, I can select a group of tiles from one of these factory boards. When I take the tiles, I have to take all of the tiles of the same type. So I could take these 2 blue tiles, or I could take this single flowered tile, or I could take these 2 black ones, or that red one.
You have the choice of any of them, I suppose.
Yeah, there's lots of options. Maybe this time I will take this single tile. So I take this and I'll place it onto my board. In the meantime, the rest of the tiles get pushed into the center. I could place this tile onto any one of my 5 lines. I could even place it into the negative scoring row at the bottom. I won't do that though. I am just going to place it in my top row, which completes the row for me.
So then it would be my turn. So I have the choice of any of these 4, or I can go directly to the center here. If I do that, I have the choice of the blues or the black, the same as it would be on a factory tile. However, if this tile, the first player tile, is still in there, I would have to take that as well. So in this case, we're just going to go for it. I'm going to take the 2 blue tiles and put them on my 2 section. Then I'm going to take the first player because I've taken from the middle. And sadly, that is -1 point for me. However, it does mean that I go first if there is a good selection on the board next time. This black tile now is just free for anyone else to take.
Yes, so on my turn, I can now take this black tile, or I can take from a factory like I did before. We are trying to fill up as many of these pattern lines as possible. So I think I'm going to try taking these 2 black ones, and I'll push those into center, and I'll try starting my 4 row.
I was really hoping Jake wasn't going to do that because I really wanted those for my 4 layer row. I am, however, going to just take this yellow one, and we'll explain in the scoring why I've chosen to do that.
Yes, the scoring only happens at the very end of the round, so we will complete this round and then we'll go through the scoring. I'm going to take these 2 black ones to fill that row for me.
And that is perfect for me because I really wanted these 3 all in one. So these are going to go nicely onto my board. Jake, it's your turn again.
Tricky decisions. I am going to take these 2 red ones, put them in my 3, and hope that Esther doesn't want the single red tile.
Well, I am quite competitive, so I think I'm probably going to take that red tile, partially to stop Jake filling it, but also because I will want red on my board at the end of the game.
Yeah, Azul can be a little mean sometimes, but that's part of the game. I will take these 2 yellow ones just because it will fill my second line.
So I have to think about this carefully now because I'm going to end up taking 2 of these 3 colours. In this case, I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to take the black. And again, I'll explain when we're scoring why I've done that.
Yes, and now I've got to decide whether I want to take this or this. It's worth remembering that whatever you take, you have to place them all onto a single row. If you took too many tiles for a row, then the excess would end up in the negative scoring. I'll take the 2 blue ones. That will help me on with my 5 for next round.
So now I'm left in a position where I have to take this because it's my turn. But I've got blacks in this row, so I'm not allowed to mix colours. I've got reds in this row, again, not allowed to mix. So it immediately goes down to my broken tile section, which gives me minus points.
Okay, it's now the end of the round, so we can go through what we score.
Do you want to do your scoring first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Every round, we will go from the top to the bottom, and if you have completed the line, then you get to move 1 tile over to its space on your wall pattern. So I move that over. Then I get to score. So here, this tile only scores me 1 point because it's on its own. So I will score 1 point. Next row, this moves across. This also only scores 1 point because it's on its own. You really want to get tiles next to each other because you'll score more points that way. We will see that on Esther's board. My red tiles don't move because I've not completed the row. I get to move a black one here, score another point, and these ones don't move either. These don't move, but I do get to keep them for next round. So I get rid of the other tiles and we'll put them in the top of the box.
So now I'm going to do my scoring. I'm going to do the same as Jake. My first one moves over and I get 1 point. My second one moves over, and because it's touching another, it gets 2 points. Again, this one moves over, and I now get 3 because there's a row of 3. My black, similar to Jake, doesn't move, neither does my red because they're not complete. However, I now have -2 points. So I immediately take that off and then remove all of the excess tiles. Make sure you keep the player marker on your board for the moment. You return this to the centre of the factory tiles at the beginning of the next round. Scoring later in the game might look slightly different. So in this example, when you place in this black tile, you'll actually receive 8 points. That's 5 for creating the column and 3 for creating part of a row. Don't forget that scoring gets more and more complicated as you go, which is why it's really important to keep an eye on it.
That is the end of the round. So we would now refill the factories with
From the
bag with 4 tiles each. If the bag runs out, then we will take the tiles from the box, put them back in the bag and continue. We keep playing until at least one player has completed at least one row on their pattern. If that happens, then we finish the round and then the game ends. At the very end, there is some final scoring here. This shows us that for every completed row that you've successfully done, you'll get an extra 2 points. For every column that you complete, you'll get an extra 7.
Which is why I had taken the black and the red, because that means I will have completed a column once I've filled them up over here.
And for every complete colour set that you have completed, you will get 10 extra points. So that means if I've got this yellow one, if I get this one, this one, this one, and this one by the end of the game, I'll score an extra 10 points.
Basically, if you have 5 blues, you get 10 points. If you have 5 yellows, you get 10 points. If you have 5 reds, you get 10 points. It's really important that you think about these end scoring things all the way through the game, because they can be the decision between winning and losing this.
Yes, very often it does come down to the bonus points.
Which means it's a nice tight game, I suppose.
Yeah, it is very often a very close game here.
So let's have a sneak peek at the expansion that we showed you earlier. This expansion was released 3 years after the base game and adds some wonderful things. Firstly, it adds a new board that's double-sided.
Yes, so this is a double-sided board. Firstly, there's a different pattern here. In fact, there's another pattern on the other side of the base game board. We'll show that in a minute. This one gives you just a few coloured in spaces, but when you move the tile to the coloured in space, you multiply your score that you're just scoring by 2.
So this would only score you 2 points. So you should wait until you've filled in some others connecting to it.
Yeah. The end game scoring is the same, but there is a slight difference in the negative scoring row there. On the other side of this board, we've got another slightly filled in pattern, but this time the end game scoring is slightly different
and more powerful.
Yes, it's just 3 points for a row, but 10 points for a column and 12 points for a colour set. So it's really making you want to go for those end game scoring points even more.
On the back of the baseboard, we actually have this blank one here. Now, that kind of shows you where the expansion comes from, I suppose. But one of the things you'll learn with this very quickly is it's actually very difficult to do.
Yeah, that's right, because in order to place a tile down, you can't have 2 of the same tile in the same column or the same row. So Yes, you get to choose where you actually place your tiles, but you can kind of get yourself into tricky situations if you don't think about it properly. In this case, it's completely fine because they're all in different rows and columns, but yeah, those two can't be in the same row. And that goes for these boards as well. These give you a few spaces that have to be that color, but the rest you have to work out for yourself.
Yeah, we would advise that you play this side first, and have a go with the colours where they're set for you, and maybe get used to that first. One option is playing a physical game. If you're worried about buying it and not sure if you like it, then you can try it on Board Game Arena first and see what you think there. There are also subsequent Azuls that we will be following and doing the rules of later. But we really like this game. It's a great family friendly game. And we think you'll enjoy it too.
Yeah. The other neat thing that comes in the Crystal Mosaic expansion are these board overlays, which can work with any of these boards. They just go on top and just give you a little space to place your tiles and your score marker. So these are really nice because it just makes sure that the tiles and particularly the score marker really stay in the right place.
It's a really simple pack up as well. Simply the tiles go back into the bag and go neatly back into the box. We think this is a great game that actually most people could play. We would highly advise buying it. Do take a look at our shorts, particularly the one that is a 4-player game of Azul recently done. This will give you a good idea of how the boards fill up and when the game ends, because it's as soon as one person fills in that row, that's it. The game ends at the end of that round. It does mean that you might have 5 or you might have 7 rounds or 6 or 8, who knows? That will also change what the scoring does. The more rounds you have, generally the more scoring there is. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for joining us
in the Board Game Room. Like and subscribe for more.
Don't forget to let us know in the comments what you think of the game.